that objection.
Thank you again, Mr. Speaker. I want to begin by reminding my friend, again, we agree on this issue. We both feel strongly in support of Ukraine. I know my friend will vote accordingly, so will I. The reality is this measure actually makes it more likely that Ukraine will get support, not less likely. As a part of the defense bill, that bill may or may not pass. My friends are united in their opposition against that bill for a variety of reasons. That's certainly their right to do so. But they actually do support this particular measure almost unanimously. Why not take it out of a bill that may or may not pass the floor and have a separate vote? My friends will actually be able to vote to move forward something they agree with, and quite frankly, something the majority of my conference agrees with. So, I don't see how this imperils Ukrainian funding. It makes it almost certain. Moreover, I do believe discussion on this floor has considerable merit on this issue. The reality is that we haven't had that discussion. And it's time we did. I wish the president, who I happen to support in this instance, not every nuance of his policy, I think he was too slow to commit here, too slow to get aid there, has been unclear about what the final objectives of this exercise is. And an exercise, I remind everyone, is extraordinarily expensive. It's over $100 billion invested and a request for more. I wish the president would do that. The House is going to endeavor to do that to at least some degree through this discussion. But again, I think it's important to note, if you support Ukraine, you should support this measure, because my friends, who I know sincerely do support that effort, are going to almost and probably unanimously oppose the defense bill in which it's contained. Why in the world would they be upset because we take it out, put it on its own, make it more likely to pass, and frankly do what we're supposed to do around here, actually let every American see how his or her a member of Congress votes on this issue and how they choose to defend it. I just simply think it's the appropriate way to go. Now, I'll be candid with my friend, as I always try to be. It also helps us pass the defense bill. We have some people, because they feel very strongly about this particular issue, that might not vote for the defense bill that otherwise will. So I'm not going to apologize because we strengthen our ability to actually move an important piece of legislation through. But the one thing we do, and it's really not disputable, is we increase the chances that Ukraine will get at least this $300 million of additional training aid that I think they ought to get, and that my friends agree with. So having one more vote on the House floor, particularly in a time when we're having so many, does not seem to me to be a high price to pay. Now, let me, too, Mr. Speaker, quickly address one other point that my friend made. He talked about an imminent shutdown. We are coming close, and my friend is absolutely correct in that. I do remind him that the Rules Committee actually passed a measure a week ago, I believe, roughly a week ago, that actually is a amendment that would continue funding the government while we work out our motions. That amendment's in the rules, come out of the Rules Committee. It can be placed on the floor at whatever time the Speaker and the leadership of the majority choose to do that. So there are vehicles in place to act. I also remind my friend, of course, the United States Senate is doing the same thing. So, I would prefer that we not get as close to the deadline as we are, but we're here. But it's not as if nothing is being done and time in other areas is being wasted. I suspect we will have a vote relatively soon on continuing to support the government, may or may not pass. I suspect the United States Senate will have a similar vote. I suspect that one probably will pass and move to this chamber. So the idea that nothing is being done while trivialities are being debated, I just think dismiss out of hand. I don't think that's the truth. Those issues are coming to a head right now. But again, I end once more with the obvious point. If you care about Ukraine, you ought to be voting for this measure. I will. I know my friends almost unanimously will, and that will ensure that that important funding moves forward. We have a fuller debate on the House floor about American objectives, goals, the price tag associated with that. I think these are all good things, all things where the House is actually doing the right thing, and frankly, where I think the majority is giving the minority an opportunity to move forward something I know they feel passionately about. I share that passion, and that many on our side do. But so again, with that, Mr. Speaker, I would urge support for the rule, which makes this possible, and the underlying resolution. And with that, I would reserve the balance of my time.